Echo. Yay, you guys
Yes.
tuning in. I see you guys tuning in live with us. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Say hello. Let us know what part of the world you're tuning in from. We're going to dive into this. Hello, hello.
Hey
We see
guys.
your faces. Thank you for tuning in. Yay. Perfect. You guys, if you're tuning in with us over on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, please say hello and let us know you're here with us. And, oops, let me just, okay. That's not what I wanted to put in there. 1 second. We're gonna get started.
All is so well. It's a good Friday.
Yeah, it is right before the holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, I checked.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this. Just have a little candid, organic flow conversation about really holding energetic space for you guys' big vision as it
Mm-hmm.
pertains to not only, I mean, this can pertain to life as well, but we're gonna spin it towards business. There's a couple of things that have come up that I see really put the clamps on people's ability to hold space for what they really want to call in. And we're just going to dive
Mm-hmm.
into this real quick. So, with one of the first things is people get our clients when they come to us, obviously, we're helping them work out the kinks energetically, not
Mm-hmm.
just with business structure and strategy. We do that too. Um, you know, getting so thrown off course because something didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, like this is a big thing that a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs do. Oh, I did a live, nobody showed up.
I'm
That
done.
sucks. I'm done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, I did a launch, like 2 people registered. That sucks. Never going to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's think about this. Like if you're aligning with what your soul is calling you to create into this world, this is so much more than a business. The fact that we can get stuck on such these little minute what appear to be failures
Mm-hmm.
and let that dictate the space that how we navigate our space in our world and how you hold space in your business for the bigger vision to actually come
Mm-hmm.
through. It's completely restrictive and constrictive and just zaps any kind of magnetic energy you have if you're
Mm-hmm.
willing. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that there's always going to be a gap, there's always going to be a void, there's always going to be, we have this call called closing the gap in your business, and this is how we help you identify where those little holes are in your business to build something that's prosperous, magnetic, aligned, and sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
However, at the same time, energetically at least, there will always be a void. There will always be a gap. There will always be something that you're moving into and evolving into.
Yeah.
It's going to require you to hold the vision and hold the space and hold the faith for that to come through, even when it's not working out,
Mm-hmm.
even when
Mm-hmm.
it appears it's not working.
Well, can I say too, I think like how many of you, type it in the replay if you're with us live, how many of you have been so in the goal cycle? Sarah and I were talking about this the other day. We're like, and it's easy to do. We have a world, we have a paradigm where like, get those goals, get those numbers. And it's so focused on the goal, right? There's all these tips and tricks to help you reach your goals. And I don't know about you guys, but we were talking about that. But like sometimes when you have that goal, it can actually be limiting. Whereas we're talking about holding a container for that big, massive legacy that maybe is so big that you can't even fathom it right now in this moment, but the universe can, but God's source can. And to wake up
Mm,
every day living and breathing and expanding your container to that vision, knowing that every step way, one is, but can we feel the power in that? Can we feel how back when you do that? So I want to throw in the goal thing because I for sure, oh my Lord, I have been such a victim of setting the goals, then the goals don't work out, then you get all pissed and resentful and you lose all your motivation, all that stuff. Where I love
mm,
this idea of switching to being magnetic, like creating your container of the energetic alignment that you want to create and hold for your massive, big vision legacy and sitting with that. So I just want to throw in that difference. I can understand why people do that because I think we live in a world where I feel like we're getting quicker and faster and just that instant gratification and let's set some goals and like work towards it. But then we get to the goal and we're always going to want more. We're always expanding, which we've talked about so much. So it's like, it's kind of like this very, I think, unhealthy kind of routine. Whereas if we can make it a, you know how we talk about like in fitness, make it a lifestyle change, stop these yo-yo dietings and like extremes, but make it a lifestyle change. When you
Hmm.
can create and make your lifestyle change this container of energetic space that you get to compound and grow and quantum leap if you want to, like as it expands, as
Hmm.
it grows, that is such a more sustainable, profitable, manageable, emotional, healthy, divine, all the good, high quality words, I think, to live by and make that your lifestyle. So I hope that came out right. But I love this talk of like the difference. Can we see the difference? Which I think is so important, not just for our clients, but for all areas of your life, like Sarah said, which is key.
Yeah, well, the instant gratification is gonna kill it. The instant gratification that spiritual entrepreneurs need, especially when they're first starting out, or because as you learn how to manage that gap and manage that space, it gets easier. But when you're first starting out, it can be very a blow to your ego. Really, is what's
Mhm.
happening. That instant gratification isn't there, and so then you're falling into imposter syndrome, or you're falling into self doubt, and you're falling into this space where you don't feel like it's going to happen for you. You're not sure if it's going to happen for you, and this and that. This is something that we see all the time. That um, and so when you mentioned lifestyle, this is what we were talking about the other day. When you think about your health and you think about a lifestyle and you want to make a
Mhm.
holistic lifestyle shift, or you want to like move into a healthy lifestyle, like you're not going to jump on the treadmill and get into your optimal wellness state like overnight, right? This is something that you do, and you don't do it just because, how often have you been in some kind of situation with your health where maybe, let's say, you wanted to lose a few pounds and you were so narrowly focused on that goal and you wanted to lose a few pounds, and then it felt so constrictive because now you're counting calories, now you're looking at the scale, now you're worried about what you're doing today and tomorrow, and you're like, you're feeling constricted. You're like, oh, now I can't go to brunch with my girlfriend, now I can't go do this, now I can't go do that. And so your vision for your goal just got so small and so
Mhm.
particular and so pinpointed that you lost track of the bigger vision, that you just want to live the most optimal wellness vibrant lifestyle, which unfolds over time, which
Mhm.
unfolds as you grow and evolve, which now leaves room for having brunch with your girlfriend and still being able to do the things, because now you're not chalking yourself up as an instant failure because you had a piece of chocolate. You get to
Yeah.
expand it beyond what that little minute goal is, and expand it into your
Mm.
bigger vision for your life as far as wellness is concerned. So apply this to
Yeah.
your relationships or your money or your business or your sales career or your spiritual business, is what we're talking about now. If you're going to allow each and every little so this is
Mhm.
good. So, like, obviously we don't want to let each and every perceived failure to be able to
Mhm.
trigger us into
Yeah.
completely collapsing our vision, letting it completely collapse on top of us, where there's like zero space for you to see beyond your immediate quote unquote failure that you just perceived, even though those are all serving you as well. So obviously we don't want that, but at the same time, not so it's not just about not allowing. Let me see if I can get this right. It's not just about not being in instant gratification mode and seeing everything as a
Mhm.
win or a loss and chalking it up to that immediately. That's going to just It's also about being able to hold space for the bigger things to unfold,
Mhm.
that allow the fun and freedom and flow to come
Mhm.
into your experience. And so it's like when we do an energy clearing. I don't know if you guys, some of you may be watching, have been in our energy clearings and stuff like that. When we do energy clearings, or at least when I do energy clearings, the first thing we do is expand our energetic field.
Mhm.
We expand our energetic field because then it's so much easier to come in and
Mhm.
clear and release and allow those things that are like hooked into our field to be able to be released.
Yeah.
Can you feel how constricting it would be to sit in like an energy clearing and um, have your aura and your energetic bubble be so
Mhm.
collapsed on top of it, like so small?
Yeah.
It's so constrictive. You can just feel it, right? And so it's the same kind of concept. You want to be able to expand your
Yeah.
container for receiving, by allowing yourself to expand and hold more space. You have to be able to hold more space in order to be able to hold a bigger vision. And
Mhm.
so, energetic space, this is what the topic of this conversation is. In order to hold energetic space to hold a bigger vision, what's going to happen as you start to expand and you hold this energetic space at a higher level, it's going to be easier
Mhm.
to see, oh, that little limited belief and that little thought pattern or that little habit that
Mhm.
otherwise would be hindering your results and keeping you from being in alignment with your bigger vision. Right, so this isn't
Mhm.
about strategizing as much as it is really feeling into what feels most expansive for yourself.
Mhm.
Because you can feel, if I eat a piece of chocolate and now my whole goal is derailed, that feels very constrictive. There's nowhere for
Mhm.
me to go. I just lost the game. I just lost, right? It's a fail. It's chalked up as a failure. My self-doubt creeps in, my confidence, plummets, all of those things because I just ate a piece of chocolate, even though my overall goal is to live optimally well and evolve into a healthier and healthier state of being. Doesn't that seem
Yeah.
so much more expansive when you state it that way? And so allowing yourself to breathe into that space, energetically expand into that space to be able to hold this
Mhm.
energetic container at a much more open,
Yeah.
fluid, um, much more open, fluid way, which then allows room for the things to flow into it that don't look picture perfect or the quote unquote failures, but they're not like bumping up against all these other constricted thought patterns and belief systems
Mhm.
and this and that because you have now expanded so far beyond that. It's like a river. They get to flow through you instead of getting stuck in your energetic
Mhm.
field. Does that make sense?
Mm. I love that. I love, like, energy is so key, but the expansiveness, I really want you guys to tap in. Can we see and do we understand why? Like when you expand yourself, like Sarah talked about, because it makes you one, it taps you back into who you truly are, right? The higher source that is you, but it gets you beyond that problem because you're expansive. I wanted to bring up too, like think of it this way. I love this whole vision too. It's not just to get beyond like making you bigger than the problem. So then what does that do? Does it make you so in it, right? Because you're like you can see it from a different perspective because you are the awareness of it, you're bigger than it. But like think about too the receiving, like how fun is that to if you're sitting here, okay, I've got to make an extra $1,000, and you're like that's your container. But if you expand it to like, you know what, and you surrender it to divine, like you know what, I'm a magnet for like consistent overflowing abundance, prosperity. Like it's so much more expansive. Where, and I'll be honest, like I'm gonna share a quick little story. This happened like a while ago. I used to have like an issue with this until practicing this expansion because I'd gone to like a really cool like medium psychic and she caught it and I was so like I was doing a project for acting but I was so keen I'm like I just had to make an extra $2,000 whatever because and I'll say this I'm going to call it because at that time I and this is so important too I hope we can bounce off of this for a second Sarah at that time right what was I doing with the acting. I was wanting to make an extra $2,000 and I was thinking, for the month because I was around God, this is so good. And this is not bad. None of this is bad. I'm just saying how we evolve and how important this is. My vision, my goal, I have such fucking children now. My vision, my goal was an extra $2,000 for the month because my environment, I was serving in a restaurant where it's a certain price point you can make in that restaurant. That was my environment. That was what I was thinking. And I went to this psychic and she's like, "Vanessa, why are you constraining yourself with the like it has to be $2,000 by this day?" And I was like, "Well, that's what I'm taught. Like that's my goal. I was so on goals, so focused on goals." And for whatever reason, I got pissed at her for a second, which is fine because I wasn't ready to hear it. And then I kind of let that go. Guys, I shit you not. And I love that this conversation is bringing us back. The next week, I had booked a commercial where in 2 hours I had made the $2,000. So I
Mhm.
chills because do we see if I was so constrained with like, oh, it has to be $2,000, it has to be this by the end of the month. It was literally limiting me until I let it go. I actually ended up making that $2,000 I thought I wanted in the month in 2 hours. So that was an
Mm.
example of the acting. But can we see how we bring this into our life and to business, and how this whole beautiful act of expanding ourselves and your vision is so much more like Sarah said than the quote unquote failed launches or even the steps in between. we've got to expand ourselves because there's so much to be had in that space. But if you're not creating it, if you're not expanding yourself out to receive that and move beyond the little rocks in the way, like,
Mm,
whoo, can we see how important this is? Can we feel
mm,
how important, can we feel the difference? And all these
mm,
words that are coming up, like, it's expansive, it's freeing for me, it's not as much work for me, it's trusting, it's,
mm.
whew, it feels so much better.
It feels so good, and that was the perfect story to round this conversation out. That was amazing, and you can feel like when you're expanding the energetic space to hold your vision, the things are still going to happen. The things are still going to happen. Like you're going to have the this or the that that you are not your perceived setbacks or whatever, right? But they're so minuscule in their meaning anymore that they don't compound this energy within you that just breeds then the self-doubt
Mm,
and the imposter syndrome and the worry and all the things that and the lack of confidence and all that. They're just like little blips in the screen. They're just like little blips across the bigger
mhm,
screen for your life that you're manifesting and that you're playing out and that you're creating and co-creating with source. They're just like a little,
mhm,
they're nothing. They're nothing. This isn't about overly focusing and then crawling your way back, getting back. Oh, I fall down and then I get back up and I fall down and I get back up and like having this really, because you hear that kind of talk, in the motivational world and stuff like that. Like you have this really hard set
mhm,
goal and then you fail and then you fall down, you get back up. That's cool. But what if like that never even occurs to you because it's just a thing. It's just a blip on your screen. It's not even something that is going to trigger you to the degree where you have to fall all the way down to your knees just to stand back up again. And I'm not saying life isn't going to bring you to your knees. That life will definitely bring you to your knees in moments, right?
mhm,
But when you hold this, can you feel? I want you to tap into this. Can you feel how the little things that otherwise would have just set you off are just now like a little, and then they're gone, and you
mhm,
can stay in your zone and you can stay in your flow state so much easier, which is a whole nother topic, a whole nother conversation of how to really access magnetic flow state that we like to teach inside Sacred Leader Academy. But we will save that for another conversation because
mhm,
Vanessa just rounded this out with the perfect story, like how often we are limiting. So it's not just about like releasing the failures and not being an instant gratification, but with these overly focused lasered goals versus the bigger picture is oftentimes limiting your own potential of
mhm,
what is actually possible for your bigger vision is probably bigger than you're allowing yourself to see right now at the moment. The bigger vision for your life that your soul is privy to, that
mhm.
your human mind can't wrap around, but your body can feel it and your heart can feel it.
Mm,
Your mind is limiting that. Your mind is limiting that because your mind is trapped in duality where there's always good or bad, up or down, left or right, front and back. Your mind is trapped in duality. Your soul is not.
mhm. Yeah.
The essence of who you are is not. And your mind is limiting that because your mind is only given a little piece of the puzzle, just a little, like your personality, your persona, your human self is just given a little piece of the puzzle as your bigger life portrait snaps into place like one big puzzle piece, right? You're getting this laser focused little piece over here in the corner of this puzzle, and you're not seeing how it all fits together because you have this huge puzzle for as the fabric of your life. And right now you have like this microscopic view of like the corner. Well, have you ever done a puzzle and you start to put together the pieces and you have
Yeah.
like you have the corner pieces and you try to do those first? You have
Mhm.
no fucking clue what the picture's gonna be. If you didn't look at the front
Yeah.
of the box and you didn't know, you have no idea how that's gonna play out. You have no idea what you're putting together. You have no
Mhm.
idea. You just know some of these pieces fit. At this
Yeah.
moment, these pieces fit. Cool. These pieces fit, but you have no idea what the rest of this thing's gonna look like when it's done. And you don't know what you're putting together either. And that's sort of like that because you're just given pieces. Pieces are given to you at the moment when you need them the most, and they click into place and then they make perfect sense. And then as you sort of grow and evolve and expand into what it is possible for yourself, and you're on this journey, you get a little larger and a larger view. And now
Mhm.
it's coming into a little bit more clarity, and you can sort of like zoom out. And now you're getting a bit, oh, over here's a tree, and that's the sun. And now you're starting to be able to see a little bit more, but you're not given the whole picture.
Mhm.
ever, probably. I can only speak to my experience now, but this is about faith. This is about trust. This is
Mhm.
about you're given exactly what you need for your journey right now, including the failures and the successes and the accolades and the wins and all the things in between. And if
Mm.
you want to get really, really stuck on those things and make it every mean everything and attach all this meaning to it and make it mean that you suck and that it's not going to work out for you and that it's never going to work for you and blah 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 and all the things that your mind wants to tell you when shit's not working out because you have such a limited scope of what your soul knows is the bigger picture for you.
Mhm.
You're collapsing your energetic space to hold this bigger vision. It has no room to flow through such a tight, constricted channel. Does that make sense?
Mm. So good. So, so powerful. So expand it. And this is available not just to me and Sarah, it's available to everyone. But you have to will it to be. You have to decide to will it to be, which is what we've done and we help you do. So this was so, so powerful, girl. I really enjoyed this. Thank you. We see all the beautiful comments. Thank you guys who have joined us. If this
Yeah.
resonates, please drop ABC below to watch our exclusive ABC masterclass. I really, really love SLA. SLA is the perfect academy for you for that foundational work, which we always say is so, so key. Just like a house, that solid foundation to have you take your life, your business as high as you want. But that foundational work, which is what SLA gives you, that structure foundation, is absolutely key. So dive into the class. You're going to absolutely love it. And then if it aligns, please, please, please take advantage. For now, we are doing free impact assessment calls with my girl, Sarah. She is such a boss. You guys does this amazing diagnostic with you and really breaks down and closes those gaps. So definitely there's a link underneath, or if you want to jump straight and book the call with her now, you can fill out the application and we will get you on that call to really, really close those gaps. So have such a good weekend. Happy 4th to my American people. Thank you for this time, guys. Thank you for being with us. And so happy to be with you next week. Well done. Bye, guys.
Hi, guys. Namaste.